And we're back live on your number one sports podcast, All Things Sports. Small Town EP here, live from Atlanta. Wait, Julian, live from New York. Big Kev shot it live from South Florida. It's draft day. Nobody wants to be a Bengal. Boston let the Heat get one, and we're back to give you the real in sports. I hope you gentlemen have had a much better afternoon than I have had because Vegas rolled me up in the pack and smoked me. I had Brewers first five money line. Freddie Peralta gave it up. I had Rangers first five money line. Andrew Heaney gave it up. I don't know what's going on, but we're here. We're back. And like I said, we're about to give you the real in sports. Gentlemen, the Celtics let the Heat get one in the words of Mr. Playoff Jimmy Butler. What a game last night. Won by 10, if I'm not mistaken. They were 14-point underdogs, won by double digits. Incredible effort. 23 three-pointers in the game. Playoff record for the Heat. June, is that type of performance sustainable in a playoff series?
No. I mean, 23-3 is a franchise record. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely not something I expect us to do next game. It's not the way I expect us to win this series. I do think that teams are definitely due for a great shooting night, though. I mean, you look at game one. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the Celtics shot the fuck out of that ball, right? Like they couldn't miss, and they opened the game on what 17-2 run or something like that. We had no chance and business even being on the court with them on Saturday. However, Eric Spoelstra, if you guys know, is a bounce back ass type of coach. You lose game one, he don't lose game two too often, right? So I forgot his record. I saw a stat. His record is very nice after game one loss. So he knows how to make the right adjustments. He understands how he can put his players in a better position for the next game and have his guys prepared. What was interesting, or I would say impressive to me, is to see that the way they came out with their confidence, being as though game one just really didn't go our way and Boston was, at the top of the mountain after that game. It felt good to know that this team is still locked in. They're still here. They still know that they can win and they can beat this team without Jimmy Butler. It's a stretch, right, for Miami Heat to beat Boston in 7 games, in a 7-game series with our health the way it is. Duncan Robinson not healthy all the way. Did come up with a good game yesterday. Terry Rozier not playing this series so far. Jimmy Butler going to miss the whole series, right? But for the fact that, Tyler Hero was called out, and I know I'm kind of rambling here. This was way past your question, but just to kind of get my emotions out and thoughts out on all this, everybody was calling Tyler Hero out and asking him what he was going to do. How would he respond? Your best player goes down. Bam is out there, trying and holding his part down. What are you going to do, Boy Wonder? Hey, Tyler Hero had one of the best games in a Heat jersey. It was on Boston's home court in game 2 of the Eastern Conference first round, an 8th seed playing a 1 seed. This is I fully believe Tyler Hero lives for these moments, whether people want to accept it or not. He's come through clutch for Miami moment after moment in his 5 years or so being here, and 4 or 5 years. I'm just super grateful for that. So shout out to the grit, shout out to the Heat, shout out to Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, and 23 3-pointers. I mean, come on, bro. Like, who doesn't want to see their team score 23 3-pointers?
No, absolutely. Fuck sustainable. I love it. Yo, before I kick it over to you, Kev, I want to give a big shout out to Brill in the chat right now. He says he chose the ATS pod over the Clyde Frazier interview that he was just watching. So we appreciate you for taking time out of your day this afternoon to come fuck with us on NFL Draft Day, NBA playoffs. June?
Bro, shout out to bro. He loyal to the soil. Shout out to the Celtics. Shout out to SP too. And I want to clip this. My boy SP posted a video on Instagram calling out Heat fans or fake Heat fans because nobody's in his DM. Everybody done forgot you was a Celtics fan. My fault. All right, you just reminded me. So now that we remember you're a Celtics fan, it's up. I told you yesterday, stick around for the second half because you posted this video first quarter or whatever, as if y'all was gonna come back No, the shots was hitting all night, just like, on your birthday, you know what I'm saying? And so we appreciate that. I don't know if the Heat saw that video that you posted, probably not, but hey, somebody got word of that because you was talking crazy. Back to Brill though. Brill, he said fruitful win, Julian. That was a good one. If you know, you know. I'm on this 7-day fruit fast, which is going to only last probably 4 days, which is today, because I don't know how much more I could take. But pause. Uh, he said there was a birthday gift for Chris Sandler, Montana Brown. That's crazy. That's crazy. Shout out to Bro, man.
Kev, I mean, like June referenced, Spoelstra's record after a game one loss is, I think he's winning at like an 80% clip, if I'm not mistaken. I saw the stat this morning too, June. How many different ways, Kev, can Spoelstra come up to win? Because it seems like no matter what lineup he puts out there, you gotta give the Heat a shot. You can't count them out.
Yeah, and it's the cliche that everybody hates to say, but it's like, you can't argue it. I said it yesterday, like there's a point in time every year where people get tired of the Heat culture thing and they talk shit about it, and then the Heat just continue to prove that it's a thing. Like, it doesn't matter who's out there. It doesn't matter when they're out there. If the team is led by Eric Spoelstra, that team is going to come out and compete every night, every game, no matter who's available. And he says it all the time. We have enough. And he truly believes that, and he instills that in the team, and they truly believe that, and you could see it last night. And just talking about the point of sustainability, 23 threes is not sustainable, but the Heat have now shot 50% or better from three against the Celtics in 4 playoff games in the last 2 years. And only one I don't think any other team has more than one game at all shooting better than 50% in a playoff game in that time span. So there's clearly something in Missoula's defense that Spo has kind of figured out. The Heat got 23 of their looks were wide open last night. So Spo's figured something out with Missoula's defense, and Missoula says that the Heat need to adjust now because he feels that they were closing out well and playing good defense, and the Heat were just making shots. And if that's the case, the Celtics could be in trouble, because if Missoula thinks he doesn't have any adjusting to do, then against the best coach in the league, by the way, then you've got bigger problems than your roster.
I love your tweet. Was it this morning, or I haven't actually pulled up? Yeah, it was last night.
Oh yeah.
that
Come
said,
outside, Kendrick Perkins, because they didn't even need to shoot 100% to win that game last night.
Hey man, they say that there's a million ways to die, but apparently Coach Spoelstra only needs 4 ways to win. So we'll see. Woo!
And we only need 3 more wins to beat this team and knock them out the playoffs again. So I mean, we'll see.
And if we do it, I never want to hear from a Celtics fan again in my life.
Yeah, that one we're not gonna get away from, Kev.
In the words of Larry June, numbers. Gentlemen, tonight we got the Knicks, we got the Sixers, this time in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center. They say that a playoff series doesn't start until the road team wins a road game. June, will the Knicks steal this game 3 in Philadelphia this evening?
I think they do. This is, to me, just one of those situations where it's like, you can't play with your food. You got them up against the ropes. You have to give them your best right now. You know what I'm saying? You can't run out of gas. We saw 2 horrible games from Jalen Brunson, right? And OG Anunoby hasn't even been much of a factor on the offensive end for this Knicks team so far. And they're figuring it out. They're still winning games. Philly, to me, has done so much, and they, it felt like they clawed, got back in the game that they were in, that they led most of the game, and then it just took a lot out of them. And to me, to see the way they lost, very deflating. And I'm not gonna say that the locker room isn't strong enough to come back from that, but I also can't say that they are. Um, Obviously, Nick Nurse as a coach is going to have them well prepared. Guys like Tyrese Maxey, full of heart. Joel Embiid, to me, he looked deflated in his post game conference, but I think he's just beat up. You know what I'm saying? He's really worn down right now, mentally and physically. A lot has happened this season. He went from best player in the league, MVP season, 36 a game, to same old Joel, Mr. Hurt. Come back for the playoffs, can't stay healthy. It's got to be a lot on your mental. So with all this, it's tough. Philly's going to have to come here and play perfect basketball for 48 minutes to win this game, in my opinion. I think the Knicks understand what they can do today, take this series, win it today, go up 3-0, and then game 4, I would say, yeah, get the sweep. And I would assume if they do win today, they probably do sweep. But it's at the end of the day, game 4 isn't as high pressure of a situation, because if they let Philly get one, much like the Celtics let us get one, we're going to have confidence now going back home, Miami being a possible 2 straight games we could win versus Boston. Not saying we do, not saying we don't, but Philly is at a point where they win this game and they're like, you know what? I don't know when they play again, maybe Saturday. Yo, it's up Saturday night. The crowd's going to be in it the whole game. It's a tough crowd to play in front of. So New York needs to take care of business, and ultimately I do think they do. And I also think we see a bounce back game from Jalen Brunson. He might not go off for the 30, 35 points, but I do think his efficiency and his decision making will be a bit better. He's going to definitely make some mental changes in his game and what he got to do. Plus, he's going back to Philly. That's a Villanova boy. They got the 3 Villanova boys over there going back to Philly, so they're comfortable in front of that crowd and in that arena, nonetheless. So, yeah, I think they'll win and put them up 3-0 today.
The spread in game 1 was -4.5 in favor to the New York Knicks. The spread in game 2 was -4.5 in favor to the New York Knicks. The Knicks covered in game 1. Philly covered in game 2. Kev, the spread today in Philadelphia is Philly -5.5. Is that too many points? Are the Knicks +5.5 a good bet this evening?
I mean, if you ask me, I think Philly's gonna rally. I think the home crowd is gonna rally their team and kind of get them back in the series. And I think it could be a blowout tonight. I think we see a lot of guys hit shots for Philly. And so I don't know.
Kevin's a real hater.
If it was the other way around,
I respect it, bro. I respect it.
You guys got me on here talking about the Knicks. All right. They want to bitch and moan about Jalen Brunson not getting any free throw. He's sixth in the league in free throw attempts in the playoffs. Like, what are we crying about? He's one of the top 10 free throw attempters in the league right now in the postseason. So and I get it, Joel's like the top free throw attempt, but like that's just Joel Embiid. Like, we know who he is. So yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole I just play basketball. That's all I want to see. Everybody's complaining, like both sides are complaining about the refs. It's become a referee show. Let's just go play basketball. I think they do that.
Let's be clear. The Knicks are always going to complain about fouls and the refs and how the game is officiated. Whether we win or lose, apparently, but it's going to happen. It's annoying. I get on my friends for it, and I wish that there was something that would make them understand that regardless of what you say or do, the officiating stinks and the officiating is going to be what it is. But, it's one of those, it's like, act like you've been here before kind of vibe, but they've been to the first round, once in the last 10 years, but, second, third, sort of uncharted territory.
And also the NBA needs to just get rid of the last 2-minute report, because it's the most disrespectful thing in sports. Like to look up, that's like somebody looking you in the face and be like, yeah, I fucked up, but I'm not gonna do nothing about it.
Yeah. Every time I hear the phrase,
really somebody telling you that's your face.
Every time I hear the phrase "act like you've been here before," it reminds me of that video of those kids partying on the yacht and they pop that champagne bottle, and then dude's like,
yo, what the fuck, bro?
Act like you've been here before, man.
He humbled their ass real quick.
Hey, but you know who hasn't really been here before, or at least too often? The Orlando Magic will host a playoff game this evening against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Orlando Magic have not had a home win in the playoffs since JJ Redick was a part of the organization. And I believe Dwight Howard was on the same team in 2011, 2012. Coincidentally, it happens to be the year I also graduated high school. But Kev, can Orlando get their first home win in 12 years tonight?
They better. I mean, they haven't looked. What did Jared Allen say last year? Because that's going right. That's pairing perfectly with Orlando right now. Like it
The
looks like
lights.
the
Well, you
lights are
said the
way
lights
too
were
bright.
too bright.
Lights are way too bright for Orlando. At least how it's looking the first couple of games. So hopefully they get some energy behind them with the home crowd now, and I think it'll be a closer game. But Cleveland has just given me no reason to feel like they're not the better team. And that's the thing with the on the flip side with the Knicks and 76ers, like the 76ers has played the Knicks twice really well in New York. So that's why I think they can get back in. I don't know if they win game 3 and 4. I think Joel's on one knee. But I still think he can get you one. And so I think they get it tonight and possibly lose game 4. But
Yeah.
for Orlando, I think it's yeah, it's now or never for them if they want to go on to the next round.
Drew?
Yeah. Just to piggyback, this is a young Orlando team, right? I don't think we had the highest of expectations. Doesn't mean that I don't think that we expected them to get swept. This is a 4-5 matchup, respectfully, and they earned that spot. But the Cavs are not the toughest team in the league. They're not the best team in the league. They did finish up with a 4 seed, and they are talented enough to sweep this Magic team. Obviously, we saw games 1 and 2 how they went. Jalen Suggs, I'm not sure what his status is for tonight, but looks like he might miss the game based on how everything looked on the other night. But Orlando can get a win here. I do see them getting a win tonight. Like, I do see a possibility of them getting a win tonight, but it's going to have to be on the heels of their best player. And I think Paulo Banchero is going to have to come out and have one of those, welcome to the playoff moments. Show up. It's time. Like, there's no other time. Like, you guys drafted well. You guys played well this year. You had some bad years in the past. You guys are home hosting a playoff game for the first time in over 10 years, like EP just mentioned. This is a big moment, and you guys have to take advantage of that. So I think with everything on the line and, coming into this game, knowing how big of a moment this is, they can crumble, but I think they figure it out tonight, get a win. Crowd is in it all night. And, they're probably going to have to squeak it out too. I don't think that they command any type of win versus this Cavs team, but they could definitely win a close one.
Yeah, the line in game 1 and game 2 was 5.5 in favor of Cleveland. They covered both times. Now we go down to the Kia Center in Orlando, Florida. Magic minus 2.5. Kev, 2.5 points enough, or does Orlando just get the win, or does Cleveland cover and win?
I think Cleveland wins it. So I like Cleveland. I like Cleveland money line, but if you're a spread guy, I like Cleveland and the points. But also to June's point, as far as Paolo, like we've seen people compare you to, I mean, on a lesser scale, LeBron James, right? The movements, he's modeled his game sort of after that guy, and he has a similar type of build. And so even going to guys like Dwayne Wade, like just if you want to cement your spot, like you don't usually see these guys who are superstars get swept out of the first round. Dwayne Wade's rookie year beat Charlotte first round, upset. So
Game winner.
game winner at the in Miami, not at the buzzer, but game winner in Miami late in the game, the floater. There's those iconic moments for these young guys, and so yeah, I think it's definitely his welcome to the playoffs moment, as
June,
you put it.
June, you like Orlando tonight? Did they cover the 2.5?
Orlando, yeah, I think Orlando covers. Either Orlando wins the game or it's going to look like the other nights, to be honest. I don't think we see 95, 92, or like 107, 104 game. No, I think this is either going to be Orlando wins. Well, if Orlando wins, I do think that it could be that close game. But they either win or they're going to lose by double digits.
Whew. So June thinks Orlando has some high performance in the Kia Center, and Kev thinks that the Kia Center goes up in smoke, similar to June's old vehicle. Let's keep it
That
moving.
was crazy. That was crazy. All right.
We got Denver. We got the Los Angeles Lakers in the crypto.com arena. Whew. Kev, do we see a LeBron James masterclass this evening and the Lakers stealing game 3?
I think you definitely see LeBron James with like 30 plus tonight. Probably like I could go as far as 30-point triple double for LeBron. Like back against the wall in the playoffs. I think it's when he comes alive and like he's his best, and he's been that way since like we said
days.
Yeah, like I said, the Detroit series. So yeah, LeBron's gonna show up. Does AD show up? Because he went missing those last 10 minutes of that fourth quarter when he was dominating. He took one shot the rest of the game. Like I don't understand that. That's like completely inexcusable for that to happen. To take one shot in the last 9 minutes when you have 32 for the game.
They saying he was out of breath, tired.
Better catch it. You better catch your breath because it's the playoffs. And yeah, I mean that is you gotta be better. And so LeBron will show up, AD needs to show up, and if both of those guys show up, and probably a little help from D'Angelo Russell, who I think has been exceptional, especially since the trade deadline. I think those guys, if the three of them all show up, then the Lakers can get it one.
Yeah, the Lakers were up in both games, both game 1 and game 2, and kind of just sold those leads away. June, what do the Lakers have to do tonight to avoid the same result from game 1 and game 2?
I mean, this is the problem. They can do everything they need to do. Denver is just this good of a team. Obviously, to Kev's point, AD got to continue being aggressive. If he's got it, what are we going away from AD for? The shot LeBron took at the end of the game, I'd want him to take that shot 10 times out of 10, and he probably hit it 7, 8 times out of 10 in that same moment. But it's okay that he missed a shot. I mean, you guys were up 20 points in this game. You guys were dominating. AD had an amazing first half. And if running out of gas is the case, that's crazy. AD, said at the press conference post game that there are stretches in the games where we don't have a clue what we're doing. Darvin Ham comes back and says, we can just agree to disagree on that. And that speaks volumes to me as far as how AD sees throughout the locker room. They're already knowing that he's going to be the coach next year, and they'll probably fire him in, January or December, whatever the case. But I know that the players do look, this is obviously me just speculating, but I feel like I have a good notion that the players look at the coaches like, this ain't it. This ain't going to get us there. Soon enough, this will be changed. And to Kev's point, LeBron James being backs against the wall, understanding that 2-0 is not where they can be right now. They need to get this win. They need to win both games, honestly, at home, especially after being so close to stealing one on the road and stealing home court. It feels like this is something we can do. But the reality is that as good as the Lakers play, Denver might just play better because they're that good. And I think, them being the cream of the crop, Denver, it allows them to fucking not slack, but, struggle for a half, struggle for 3 quarters, and then figure it out. Jamal Murray, perfect example of that, missed so many shots. And a lot of other players don't have the green light that he would have or the confidence that he would have to go and try to make a game-winning shot, step back to the side on AD. I mean, that's just the reality of it, and he hit it. So just credit you got to credit the greatness of the Nuggets right now. And the Lakers really just in a situation where they just got to do what they did last game and sustain that 4 quarters. They can't play with their food.
Yeah, this is something that we've seen from Denver in the playoffs. They always tend to start a little slow. You know, it looks like they're not completely all the way in there, but like June was saying, they're just that good. And when they decide to turn it on, or not even decide, but when they do turn it on and when they do flip that switch, it's a totally different story. Kev, you got any closing thoughts on this Denver and Lakers matchup?
Yeah, because Julian mentioned Darvin Ham, and that's just a crazy situation, like that whole back and forth with Anthony Davis. But it made me think because I know the report came out that the vast majority of people that Anthony Irwin, who reported it, spoke to, expect the Lakers to bring Darvin Ham back, even if they lose, was his quote. He didn't say even if they get swept. And if they get swept, if they get swept, there's a guy who we were talking about off the show who has a podcast with LeBron James that maybe there's a reason he doesn't take a job yet.
I don't know. That's a big reach, and I do like the idea, and it's entertaining. But for me to think that JJ Redick would be the guy for this job under these circumstances in Los Angeles, coaching LeBron James and Anthony Davis on a quest to win LeBron James' 5th title, as a first-time head coach, it's a little bizarre. And I'm not saying he can't do it, but
I think the biggest thing with that locker room, and you see it just off of what Anthony Davis said, is respect. And I think a vast majority of players, especially guys like Anthony Davis and LeBron, who are the 2 main guys that you want in that locker room to respect your head coach, I think have a tremendous amount of respect for JJ Redick. And I think what better way to start your coaching
maybe as
career
a person, as a
than
coach?
coaching LeBron. My thing is
They're
like, okay,
he's doing a podcast with LeBron talking X's and O's. They have to have some sort of fusion there to be doing that. You know what I mean?
yeah, I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I think LeBron James understands who JJ Redick is, what he is to basketball, especially in the media world, and as far as a savant, having high IQ for the game. Now, does JJ Redick taking a job with the Lakers mean that LeBron is really the coach, like how they tried to do with Spoelstra back in the day? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to get a lot of that too. So it's something that I think JJ Redick is capable of getting through. I do think that the challenge itself is going to be the pressure, the expectation, the the city's going to turn on you if this doesn't work out, and you got to come into it understanding that. But that's why I say it's a stretch in the regard of, like, I don't think JJ is going to go for that. Do I think JJ can't coach the Lakers? No, I think JJ Redick can coach an NBA team. But that's a big fire to jump in right there. I'm not gonna lie. But I like that, Ken. We'll keep that in mind.
Nah, for sure. I like that. Hey, anything that involves JJ Redick succeeding in anything is an A plus
Yep.
in my book. In my book. All right, gentlemen. The day that a lot of
plus in Vegas books today. Sorry. We're taking shots.
Gentlemen, the day that a lot of young men have been waiting their entire lives for, the NFL draft, is here. It's among us. Detroit is hosting it, which is interesting. What city was it in last year? Because it wasn't in Detroit, was it?
Is it Vegas?
Yeah, I think it was in Vegas last year.
I like them moving it around. I remember when it was at Radio City Music Hall every single season. And I guess that kind of got played out. So I like them moving it around. A lot of talk after the number 1 overall pick, who is presumably Caleb Williams, going to the Chicago Bears. They kind of locked that in. Everyone's saying that the draft starts at pick number 2. And a lot of people are saying there will be a lot of dancing, as they say. People trading back, people trading up, players getting chosen where they shouldn't be chosen. One of those players involves the Indianapolis coach, Julian, and a young man by the name of Marvin Harrison Jr. and the Colts trading up to take him, same place that his father played. Realistic expectations for that trade to happen and that pick to happen, June, or is that kind of a reach?
Yeah, I think it's a reach. It's definitely a realistic dream, right? It's definitely something we all want as Colts fans. I think the Colts front office would love to have Marvin Harrison's son in our wide receiver room. Of course. The demand for that number that we need to get to from 15, I think, knowing the history of the Colts since Chris Ballard has gotten here as a GM, is way too steep. I don't see him spending multiple first round picks and seconds and thirds, maybe a player, for this one pick. He values draft picks so much that even at 15 right now, which this year is the year that I feel the Colts stay at 15 or maybe move up a little bit. I think to move for Marvin Harrison is a top 5, like top 3, 4 type of pick. And obviously, depending on how it shapes out with any trades that go on before this. But okay, so 2 is Washington, 3 is New England, 4 is Arizona. And 4 is like where we start to look at Arizona possibly going after Marvin Harrison. I don't think the Colts move up from 15 to 4 or 5. And also, our general manager, Chris Ballard, is more likely to trade back out of either the first round for multiple seconds or trade back in the first round for multiple second or thirds. So right now, I do think it's a pipe dream realistically for the Colts to be in that Marvin Harrison Jr. talk. And I don't know, as a me being such a Colts fan, and this has been something I've wanted for 2 years, 3 years now. Like, when Marvin Harrison gets in the league, like if the Colts are in position to draft him, that'd be awesome, bro. Like, just think about that, But in reality, he's one player. He's an outstanding player. There are a bunch of wide receivers in this draft who you can get. I wouldn't say late, but mid first to mid second round, you're still going to have a bunch of guys who can make plays and really make an impact in your wide receiver room. So do I think it's worth it at the end of the day? No. Obviously, it's something that I would love to see, but nah.
And then, Kev, the Jets are picking at 10. There's rumors, rumblings of them possibly moving up as well. Do you see that happening? And what's the word in New York? What are you guys going to do?
I think that Odunze is like the want, and I don't think he's going to reach 10. If he reaches 8, you could probably see them move up with Atlanta, or try to, at least, unless they get outbid. Because I think that's the guy they want. Realistically, because I think Malik Neighbors is going to be off the board by the time they get there too. Excuse me. If not, then I think Bowers is the next guy. Draft kick my ass. God damn. So yeah, I think Bowers would be the next choice. So I think either Neighbors, Odunze or Bowers are the top 3, and if not, they go offensive tackle. I think if Joe Alt is there for some reason, then it might throw everything off, and he's the guy. But yeah, I think initially they're gonna look to go for a weapon, and if all those guys are gone, then I think they probably trade down and try to recoup some draft stock.
Yeah, I keep hearing these Brock Bowers rumors of him going to New York, but we'll see. Yo, is there any chance, now that we're here, it's the day of, it's, the topic of conversation, is there any chance that Caleb Williams does not go number 1, June?
No. It's Thursday. We didn't talk about this all week. We didn't talk about it last week. No. Caleb Williams going number 1 to Chicago is locked. And Chicago should just honestly blow up the franchise if they don't pick Caleb Williams. So it was him or Fields, right? We had that speculation. Fields is gone. Like, if fucking Drake May's your guy, I don't know what to tell you guys. And Drake May is not your guy. So Caleb Williams, number 1. The draft starts at 2. Shout out to Sal in the chat. Sal says Marvin Harrison Jr. is not going to get past pick number 4. Shout out to Lou in the chat, Upper Class Arms. Said, damn, did I miss the Knicks talk? Kev, he's wondering where the red lights are at. I feel him. It is a day podcast today, so we working with natural light here, as y'all see. I didn't bring out my light. Kev is also, all right. You know what? No excuses.
There
There's
it
the red
is.
light, Lou. Shout out to you for inspiring him. Shout out to the Miami Heat for winning, so that red light shines proudly in the Rodriguez household.
Yeah, and I asked that question to go back to that question. I asked that question. ESPN has best available, obviously, is Caleb Williams. Best fit at number 1 for Chicago, they have as Marvin Harrison Jr., which is very interesting to me. I'm not really sure how many number 1 picks Chicago has as far as, I mean, not number 1, but first round picks Chicago has as far as next year and things like that. Any way, Kev, that they can possibly take Caleb and then trade something, trade somebody, trade some picks, move, because they don't have another pick in the first round, move back into the first round and take a wide receiver for Caleb?
Chicago has 9.
Yeah.
So Chicago, because remember this first pick is from Carolina from the trade last year. So Chicago has 1
That's
and 9. So
9.
they could take a receiver at 9 if there's one there. Or try to trade back up into because I agree. I don't think Marvin Harrison's getting past 4 unless you trade with the wing.
Neighbors is there at 9.
Yeah, I mean, you can have DJ Moore, Neighbors, and Keenan Allen as your wide receiver core. So that'll be a big help for a rookie quarterback to have that, and then Cole Kmet as your tight end. And I believe they just signed a running back this offseason, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know you guys said this draft starts at 2. I think it starts at 5 because I think 1, 2, 3, and 4 are pretty much locked in. I think it's Caleb, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, unless somebody offers the Patriots something nuts. And then at 4, I think it's Marvin Harrison. And then I think we start to have a little fun.
Real quick, DeAndre Swift. They did sign DeAndre Swift, Philly free agent. So, hey man, the Bears got better. We got to admit that their defense got better last year, and they're gonna get better tonight. So it's Ryan Poles' job to lose at this point. I mean, he has the power to really flip this franchise upside down and show the city what they've never seen before, and that being a franchise quarterback. I'll be excited, and I'm gonna root. I'll be rooting for the Bears and the success of Caleb Williams, right? Like the Bears don't know what it feels like to really, really have that, and I don't have any ill will toward them or that team. So it'll be nice, and it's cool when they're competing. So shout out to the Bears. Hopefully they get it right today in the draft, and they're looking forward to this season.
Any surprises you guys are expecting tonight with this draft? Any, like I was mentioning or referenced anyway, or alluded to, better word, surprise picks, people that shouldn't be in the top 10 that maybe get selected in the top 10. I'm on the record saying the Chiefs will probably go left tackles to protect Mahomes' blind side, because that's definitely what we need right now. And then we'll probably find a receiver somewhere in the second, maybe third round. That Andy Reid has probably been doing research on for the past 6 months. But any surprises for you, June? You think that'll happen? Any shocks?
I don't know what it's gonna be. There are going to be some things that provide some shock value. I'm sure within the next hour or so. We'll probably. Last year, I think Carolina traded their pick late, right? They traded it like draft day, if I'm not mistaken. So anything could happen at this point. That's all I know. I'm not here to, like I said, we could have had 2 months to talk about. What do you think might we're here now, and I'm at the point where I just want to see what the first round looks like, and then what the trades are, what tomorrow and this weekend are going to be centered around based on how teams perform today. So I don't know, but I do know that there is going to be some sort of shocker or some sort of headline breaking news at one point tonight.
I think the one that could happen is, and to me it wouldn't be a shock because it's a shock to me that he's even talked about in the top 5 or 6 or 7 picks, but JJ McCarthy falling out of the top 10.
You think that would be a shocker if he falls out the top 10? The way they're talking about him, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because they're talking about him as if people are looking to trade up to 5.
Yeah,
Giants may take him at 6.
yeah.
So, um, I
People are saying the Vikings might trade up and try to go
yeah,
get him.
Vikings could be a possibility to trade up, or they
Right.
could get him at 11, which I think if they want him, I think he'll be there. But I don't, I don't, yeah.
So
I was on the show last year, and I said I don't think any rookie quarterback will make an impact, and CJ Stroud like more than proved me wrong. So, you know, we'll see how it is this year. But other than Caleb, I'm not very high on any of the prospects this year at quarterback.
how many quarterbacks do you guys see going in this first round? That's the question I want to know. That I want answered tonight. Like that's what I want to see is Michael Penix, JJ, you know what I'm saying? Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams. Are they all going in the first round tonight?
I don't think Penix goes first round.
Because I'm hearing Vegas.
I've seen that too, but the injury, there's a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
We all know it's a lot of smoke, and I think like the Chargers were being talked about taking JJ McCarthy because of the Harbaugh, but like you
Right.
just
I
gave
get it.
Herbert an extension. Like this is clear smoke to try to get someone to trade up for McCarthy. So, yeah, I don't. It's all funny. Like nobody really knows anything until the draft starts, and we really see what happens. But I do think those first 4 picks are kind of locked in, and I think 5 and beyond we'll have some fun.
Yeah, I can see about 3 to 4 QBs going in this first round. 3 to 4 QBs going.
I think 4 go in the first round, and I think Penix is like an early second round, or somebody may trade up to get him.
I think Penix goes in the first round.
Where you think he's going?
I would like for Vegas to get him, and I think them playing in that nice stadium. It's a dome. The situation is well set up for him, not in the sense of like roster construction. They do have a number 1 receiver, and Jacoby Myers played really good, so there would be something to work with. Obviously, losing Josh Jacobs is that's going to suck for any quarterback that has to play with them. Right now, who did they sign? Jimmy Garoppolo? Is it? I said Jimmy Garoppolo. Gardner Minshew, right?
Yes.
I think they signed him.
Yeah.
That can't be their starting quarterback week 1. And if it is, there has to be somebody that's learning right up under him.
Hey, he got a team to the playoffs last year.
Listen, and I'm going to say this with love, Gardner Minshew. I fuck with you.
You are not him.
Pro Bowler. I ain't say that, E. I ain't say that. But boy, was that season long as a motherfucker, bro. Watching him play football sometimes, it boils your eyeballs. Like, holy shit, what is going on right now? What is going on? And a lot of the games we won, we were kept in it with a solid defense. And I'm going to just leave it right there. I do hope that the Raiders address their quarterback situation, because my dad does not deserve to watch Gardner Minshew for 17 games for this fall and winter. He don't. I'd rather watch a rookie struggle. I'd rather watch a left hand throw the ball 60 yards downfield. I'd rather watch anything. I had to sit there and watch Gardner Minshew after 3 or 4 games for the rest of the season. And we ain't made the playoffs, so let's leave it there.
Boy said I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Oh, man. Yo, I want to take a live look and kick it over to the MLB. Seems like the trends are continuing in Colorado and at Coors Field. Rockies are down by 4 runs, 8-4, playing San Diego, hosting the Padres. Kansas City and the Blue Jays are in a rain delay right now, top of the 6th. I don't think that will resume. Heavy rain in Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium today. And the Dodgers up 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th. They are in Washington this afternoon. And in the late game today, Oakland visiting Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Aaron Wood, Nestor Cortez. We'll see what happens. The A's always come to the East Coast and kind of
they got smacked around yesterday. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto hit homers in a game for the first time this season. So I'm sure Yankee fans excited about that.
And Nestor's been good at home this year so far. So
Wonderful. I think if the A's were going to get any game in this series, it would have been the game where Patrick Blackburn pitched. But
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I think that if the Yankees were gonna have a game where Juan Soto and Aaron Judge hit a home run in the same game, it'd be versus the A's.
No, the A's got the first game of the series when the umpire ejected Boone for not saying anything.
That was crazy too, bro. I wanted to talk about that on Monday. That was funny, bro. I was like,
that was disrespectful to the game of baseball.
Bro. Yeah, dog.
Even after he was like, I know you ain't saying nothing, but you still going. Like, you out of here.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Sal in the chat. He was saying, he's saying Malik Neighbors to the Giants. He said that the surprise of the draft is going to be Dolphins taking Xavier Worthy at number 21. And if they were to do that, I mean, it wouldn't be like it would. I mean, it would be more of like hype because, I mean, that speed out there, Tyreek, Jalen, and Worthy. That's, it's already unfair enough to an extent. Not too unfair because they ain't winning shit, but it's unfair enough. But yeah, man. Shout out to Jay in the chat. Go Jets, go Knicks. Shout out ATS. We appreciate you, bro. And Upper Class Arms said, "There you go, Kev. See you with that light." You know what I'm saying? So.
See you with that light. See you with that light. You guys got any closing thoughts on the draft, NBA playoffs, tonight's MLB matchups before we get out of here, gentlemen?
Kev?
Just Jimmy said it best. Don't let us get one.
Yes, sir. Right. We're gonna end it on a positive note. I do hope the Colts get better tonight. Shout out to Taylor Hines, who is my birthday twin. Happy birthday. Ooh. That was yesterday. And shout out to everybody that's watching right now, everybody that tapped into the live. We appreciate y'all.
I was gonna say too, shout out to you because yesterday was your birthday. So happy birthday.
Absolutely. More life. Yeah, definitely a shout out to June for his birthday. Definitely a shout out to Taylor Hines for her birthday today. Beautiful. That is her birthday.
Her birthday was yesterday, I think. Or is today? Oh, no, it's today.
Yeah, I think it's today.
When you see like 10 hours ago and you think it's like 24 hours ago?
They're in London. So
it's like, damn, 10 hours ago. Yeah, you're right. All right, well, they're in London. I'll take it.
Twins, we do fraternal.
Her day, my day, her day.
My day, her day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as we cross this 50-minute mark, this has been your Thursday afternoon, technically, because it's still light outside. Thursday afternoon, NFL draft, NBA playoffs. It is draft day. The playoffs are tonight. We got NHL playoffs, too. The Panthers up 2-0 on Tampa Bay, heading up to Tampa Bay. Let's take game 3 this evening. You heard? It's
go Cats.
Go Cats. Time to hunt.
Go Cats, go Caps.
We will see you all on Monday post-draft. Appreciate you. If you tapped in live, thank you so much in the chat. If you're listening after the fact on all your streaming platforms, we appreciate you. You could have been anywhere in the world on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, but you're tapped in with us, and we appreciate you. We'll see you Monday.